President Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu have signed an agreement with the United Arab Emirates. Here on my channel, we focus a lot on symbols, symbolism, subliminal messages. So when I first saw this coin, it really blew me away. This right here is yet another example of the occult forces that work in the shadows in this world at work. It's similar to money magic. Money itself is sigil magic. The New World Order put its plans on paper and they called it money. Millions of people around the world are carrying this around in their pockets. Money itself is a primary example of this sigil magic, lesser magic. So it's interesting that they chose to place this imagery on a coin. Once again, we're back to money. And here they are showing us their plans on this currency. From a very basic standpoint, when I first looked at this imagery, I couldn't help but notice, starting from the base of the symbol as it works up, you see the sword itself starts to disintegrate into all of these different symbols. What's most interesting is the symbol they chose at the top, or it's the symbol at the end of the road. All of these symbols leading to the dove of peace, peace and security, peace and safety. But what comes after that? Saturn. Some of you may not understand the significance of this, but Saturn represents Satan.
On the 17th of December 497 BCE, the Saturnalia festival was celebrated for the first time in ancient Rome. Created to mark the anniversary of the foundation of the Temple of Saturn in the Roman Forum, the Roman festival of Saturnalia was dedicated to the god Saturn, who was believed to have ruled over a golden age of agricultural abundance. The festival saw the suspension of the usual social norms, and the people of Rome engaged in lively celebrations. Saturnalia originated as a 3-day festival that began when the wool that was normally bound around the feet of the statue of Saturn was removed. The first day also saw a public banquet, which was preceded by a sacrifice at the Temple of Saturn itself. With the formal elements of the festival complete, the subsequent days, which ranged from 3 to 7 days during the Roman period, were given over to the private celebrations for which the festival is perhaps best known. The usual social hierarchy was reversed, and for the duration of the festival, slaves were treated to banquets, while activities that were usually discouraged became commonplace. Romans from all social spheres were known to engage in gambling, alongside excessive eating and drinking, and all overseen by a chaotic king of the Saturnalia, who was chosen at random, drawn by lot. The end of Saturnalia saw people exchange small gifts made of wax or other simple materials. This part of the festival saw the more crazed revelry begin to subside, ahead of a return to normal social behaviour. Nevertheless, the writer Pliny the Younger recorded in one of his many letters how he preferred to avoid the festival altogether by moving to some of the more secluded rooms of his villa, while the rest of the household celebrated.
He is the god of wealth, agriculture, periodic renewal, and liberation. In later developments, he came to be the god of time. His reign was associated with peace. The remaining 8 columns are all Egyptian granite. The inscription on the architrave reads, "Destroyed by fire, restored by the Senate and the people of Rome."
It goes back to Rome. They worshipped Saturn, celebrating Saturnalia, and the Greeks worshipped Kronos. Same deity, both represent Satan, which leads to the black cube. You also need to understand about the black cube of Saturn and the connection to the Jewish priests who wear the tefillin or the black cube on their foreheads.
This is the Cube, where simple tasks become epic challenges.
This is very hard. Come on!
7 games, 9 lives, £250,000.
Have you got what it takes to beat the Cube?
Before time began, there was the cube.
It's also interesting to note that we find the black cube in Mecca. And here you see the Muslims walking circles or rings around the black cube of Saturn, Satan.
It's time to start reimagining TV. Introducing Fire TV Cube, the first all-in-one streaming media player with hands-free Alexa built in. Now it's easy to do things like this.
Alexa, turn on the TV.
Fire TV Cube can hear you from across the room.
Alexa, play Sneaky Pete.
And with infrared technology, it's easier to control your entertainment hands-free.
Alexa, switch to cable.
Wait, what time was the game?
Alexa, tune to Fox.
We've partnered with Netflix, ESPN, Hulu, and others to let you do more simply by using your voice.
Alexa, rewind 30 seconds.
Alexa, next episode.
Plus, Fire TV Cube is always getting smarter.
Alexa, show my flash briefing.
So now it's easier to get more out of the biggest screen in your house.
Alexa, show me nearby restaurants.
Even when your TV is off, Alexa is ready to help.
Alexa, add Pinot Noir to my shopping list.
Okay, I've added it to your list.
And of course, you can still enjoy all the content you love.
Alexa, search for action movies. Yes!
From HBO, Netflix, Hulu, Prime Video, and more. Fire TV Cube. Let's start reimagining TV.
Symbology is very important. Understanding symbols and what they mean is life and death. Hillsong here, 3 years ago, did a production, Brian Houston, called Touch the Sky. And look at the stage set design. Cubes. Okay, touch the sky. Complete nonsense he was preaching here. Mostly, the guy is a freak, right? Who designs their set stages? A guy called Nathan Taylor Set Designs. Stage Set Designs, Nathan Taylor. Look up the website and see the work that this man has done. He does all the colour conferences for Hillsong. I'll let you go into this and see the cubes there on the stage. Phenomenal. Touch the sky, reach up and touch the universe. 666, okay? It is. It truly is. Now go and look up Wikipedia number 216 and let's see what the cube means, what it symbolizes. 216 is the natural number following 215 and preceding 215. There's a cube. There's the mathematical equation according to Plato.
Hey everybody, yesterday you might heard that first US-based company is microchipping their employees. Well, based on that fact, what's so special? What I'm trying to say here, you might heard this message many times from the world, all over, again and again, from the Christians' perspective. They were saying that this is a mark of the beast, simple. 666, which is 666, that means mark of the beast, as Bible says in the Revelation. We will go a little deeper in that extra. Guess what? I'm going to tell you the same thing. Yes, it is the mark of the beast. But in this time, I'm going to give you a little further information, with the depth information, why it is the mark of the beast, something different. We understand the microchip has been released, and as soon as it's released in US, and become really famous and everyone talking about it, yes, of course. The thing is, as soon as I heard this message, I started to do some research research in a sense where this microchip coming from and who produced it, who manufactured it. And I come to understanding that was manufactured by the company called Biohacks. And we will come to that a little deeper later too. But when you go to that company website, and it's called Biohacks International. It's a company. It's based in Sweden. Okay, and including the logo means something. They, out of nowhere, they have named this microchip, the NFC tag, N-tag 216. What that to do with this? What I'm trying to say? Simply, let's cut it quicker. 216. Think about it. 6 times 6, 36. 36 times 6, 216. Oh, coincident, eh? Do you think that's coincident? No. As a mark of the beast, they're trying to tell us, hey, this is the mark of the beast. Revelation 13:18. Here is wisdom. Let him who has understanding calculate the number of the beast, for the number is that of a man, and his number is 666. There's a few things I like to point out here. That first, the first company, the US-based company, the name itself, many people can say it's coincidence, but think about it. The first company is tagged, it's called Wisconsin. Wis, if I break it into three things, wisdom, con, also that's another meaning I like to tell you, and sin. Of course, sin, Wisconsin. And also, before I go to the detailized information, whoever produced this, they're also the manufacturer of these products is called Foxconn. Why these people are trying to bring that C-O-N information? Let me tell you also another thing. Why this bio, out of nowhere, the bio word came out also. Also, it's American Standard Text, which can be converted into a computer language. We also call hex mode. And I want to go deep into that. But when you convert this word C-O-N, okay, you can do it by yourself later. And convert this, you can see the hex mode is 63, 6F, 6C, which is 666. It's not a coincidence again. And let's say I'm going to put a word bio, B-I-O. Simple, right? Convert that to hex mode. 62, 69, 6F, which is 666. Is it coincident? I don't think so. So bio, con, everything that in a hex conversion says 666. And here, they publicly, they're challenging, they're telling you people that this biochip's called N-tag 216, which is 666. What else do you want to know? What else you want me to prove to you? It's in your face. It's in front of you. Simply, they're mocking you people. They're mocking. They know what's about to come. Christians are crying out loud. They're saying, hey, this is the mark of the beast. Still, people don't want to believe it. And many people will take it as a joke. Think about it, people. This is not a joke. They specifically chose the name tag 216, N-tag 216. They could have come up with some other random names. Why in this world he came with this number 216? And Biohacks, the company name itself, obviously 666, Bio, S-Con, 666. All this leads into one path, which is a path to hell, which is 666. God has warned us like 2,000 years ago. I used to think, hey, this could be, coincident. Even though I believe into this system, there might be a different change in future, more updates. But this is a time it's become official, and this is a time they officially chose those name tag, name and the number. And also, you have a capability to embed Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies information into these tags more detail into this information, but the thing is I just want to keep this video short as possible. But if you want to know more about this information, what's the real depth, what is really talking about, how this Bitcoin currency going to function. If it's not Bitcoin, and also there's another currency which is not in public, but a year ago, almost 6 or I think 7 months ago, I found it. It's not to the public. If you want to know more about these things, what can be, so you can protect you and your family, making sure you're ready for the coming of Christ. And as I mentioned yesterday, coming of Christ cannot occur, cannot happen until this Antichrist can reveal himself to the nation.
So leading up to this peace and safety and afterwards Saturn or Satan, we find that the sword guard is wrapped in prayer beads. Prayer beads only serve one purpose, and that's to count repetitive prayers. Both Islam and Catholicism share their love of prayer beads, which came from pagan traditions.
While chanting, we use Juzu beads, Buddhist prayer beads. Upon becoming a Nichiren Shoshu Buddhist, you may get your own Juzu beads. In Nichiren Shoshu Buddhism, the prayer beads receive the opening of the eyes ceremony, which is performed by the priest. In 18th century Japan, Nichikan Shonin, the 26th high priest of Nichiren Shoshu, wrote in his treatise, The Three Robes of this school, the prayer beads are the Buddhist implement that helps common mortals advance in their Buddhist practice. Because of their profound significance, you should treat your prayer beads with respect, just as you would the Buddha. To understand the meaning of the beads is to begin to understand the profundity of Buddhism, the correct practice, and the reason for expressing gratitude to the three great secret laws and the three treasures.
One of the most historic items ever offered in our auctions is this personal rosary of Jack Kennedy. It's worn down by the hands of the president himself. JFK was the country's first Catholic president, and he referred often to his faith in God. Some observers felt that his Catholicism would stand in the way of JFK ever being elected president, but his rosary, this rosary, stands as a testament to his unswerving Catholic faith.
On the guard of the sword in the middle, we can see the Babylonian sun wheel, and this goes back to Rome again and pagan worship. It's also known as the Wheel of the Year.
Oh, the wheel of the year goes round and round, the wheel of the year goes round.
And then we have the satellite dish with Wi-Fi and binary code. This seems to reflect our current state of Big Brother surveillance in some ways. And next we have the gears. The gears go back to time, and that goes back to Saturn.
Hatter is my truest friend. If he's in need, I will help him. It will be a race against time. Time is a he.
Well, actually, time was Lewis Carroll's idea. In the first book, Alice in Wonderland, Mad Hatter says to Alice, I'm stuck at this tea party because Time and I quarrelled this time last year, or last March. And I thought that's a brilliant idea for a character.
There's no real reference to what his character is. So the challenge was to create a character that could fit into that world, because they're characters that have been around for more than a century.
Alice wants to go back in time to save the Hatter's family and also to save the Hatter. She wants to steal the chronosphere, and in order to do that she has to kind of confront Time himself, who's, as the director James puts it, a confident kind of idiot.
And I thought, I know no one better to play the confident idiot than my friend Sacha Baron Cohen. And so I invited him to come, play the character, and he did a brilliant job.
Sacha brilliantly plays, very confident buffoons. So their dynamic is very funny because she's the only one who kind of calls him out on his, ridiculousness.
He and I worked together for many, many years. And so we came up with this idea of this sort of quasi-German mid-Atlantic voice.
You cannot escape time.
Plus ridiculous outfit. He's a man who believes in impressing people from the outset, even though he's got not much to be impressed about. And so he has this ridiculous hat and enormous shoulders and is very over the top, but really he's a little boy in a giant man's costume. Lewis Carroll obviously is an utter genius and was an amazing, to think that he wrote these characters 150 years ago, and we're today still talking about them in this room is a pretty incredible achievement of his.
Young lady, your time is up.
We also have a syringe to represent the vax scheme for their crown virus.
Johnson & Johnson's getting ready to enter late-stage testing of its coronavirus vaccine. Phase 3 of its vaccine clinical trial officially begins today, and Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center is one of the sites conducting the trial. The company is looking to enroll 60,000 volunteers for the trial from the U.S. and 7 other countries. That is twice the number of volunteers as Moderna's Phase 3 trial. Unlike its competitors, Johnson & Johnson's vaccine will only require 1 dose.
Moving on from there, we have the date palm tree. And it's interesting, the Latin name for the date palm tree is the Phoenix dactylifera. When you look at all of the symbols on the sword, and so many of them have to do with technology, you may have been wondering to yourself, why is there a palm tree there? And I think I found the answer. It's not just a palm tree, it's a date palm. What's most interesting about this is that the Latin term for the date palm is actually the Phoenix dactylifera. I believe that's why they put the date palm on the sword among all of the other symbols, showing us their end game. The eagle, sometimes the double-headed eagle, also the phoenix, is a symbol of great power and endurance. The Romans, the House of Habsburg, the House of Rothschild, the Nazis, and the United States have all used this symbol. But more specifically to the phoenix itself, we find that symbolism popping up all over the place. The phoenix as a symbol itself has become a very common symbol for the New World Order, or for this beast system. This last decade has seen a real explosion in symbolism on everything: movies, TV shows, corporate logos. All of it is coming to light now. In this beast system, the phoenix is a symbol of chaos, total destruction, and then a rebirthing, a rising from the ashes.
The rising phoenix is one of the oldest occult symbols in history. It's a well-known symbol that represents the sun, rebirth, resurrection, and immortality. It is linked to sun worship and was named a god of Phoenicia by the Phoenicians. Occultists believe that these fiery birds live on one at a time for about 500 years. When the phoenix dies, it is immediately resurrected from its own ashes and continues to live on for another 500 years. Occultists believe that the phoenix is a symbol of Lucifer, who is cast down in flames and will rise again. It is also a symbol of order out of chaos. It is considered to be one of the main symbols for the Illuminati and the Antichrist.
And this rising from the ashes, this phoenix, is the NWO itself, or that final Antichrist beast system. It's interesting to note that in Islam, they view the date palm as the tree of life. But in Judaism, the palm represents peace and plenty. And of course, there's also that connection between the tree of life and the Kabbalah. Also, the palm tree was a sacred sign of Apollo in ancient Greece. So of course we find Apollo. Apollo is the sun god. He's another representation of Lucifer, the sun god. Sun god, Lucifer, Satan, Saturn. Something else to consider, finding that palm tree symbol among all of the symbols of technology. Perhaps it's a nod to how they've been placing these 5G towers in these palm trees all around America. Also, looking back on the sword, we find satellite, 5G, Wi-Fi, NASA.
One Texan says she's not going to let a little thing like being in orbit, in space, keep her from casting a ballot in the November election. NASA astronaut and Houston area resident Kate Rubens tells the Associated Press she's planning to cast her vote from space. Right now, she is just outside Moscow, Russia, preparing for a mid-October launch and a 6-month stay at the International Space Station, where she's going to cast her ballot from. She's going to use a secure electronic ballot, and mission control will then forward it back to the county clerk. Katie Johnston for CBS 11 News.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's legislation passed a number of years ago to allow astronauts to vote in space. I think a lot of astronauts do this. They feel that it's very important. It's critical to participate in our democracy. We consider it an honor to be able to vote from space. And so we fill out a form and we vote via absentee ballot. And I plan on doing that in November. I think it's really important for everybody to vote. And if we can do it from space, then I believe folks can do it from the ground too.
How do you balance science with science fiction? They're both the same.
I'm excited about it. And the idea is to democratize space, to lower the cost of getting to many destinations in our solar system. And the reason you do this, everybody, the reason a society does this, there are two questions, Lauren, that we have all asked. Where did we come from? How did we all get here? Where did we come from? And are we alone in the universe? And if you want to answer those two questions, you have to explore space.
If I could turn the page and time that I'd rearrange just a day or two, close my eyes, then I couldn't find a way, so I settled for one day to believe in you. Tell me lies. Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. Tell me lies, tell me lies. Oh no, you can't disguise. You can't disguise. No, you can't disguise. Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. Although I'm not making plans, I hope that you understand there's a reason why. Close your eyes. No more broken hearts. We're better off apart. Let's give it a try. Tell me lies. Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. Tell me lies, tell me lies. Oh no, you can't disguise. You can't disguise. No, you can't disguise. Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. If I could turn the page and time that I'd rearrange range just a day or two. Close my eyes. I couldn't find a way, so I settled for one day to believe in you. Tell me lies. Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. Tell me lies. Tell me lies. Oh no, no, you can't disguise. You can't disguise. No, you can't disguise. Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. Tell me lies. Tell me lies. Oh no, no, you can't disguise. You can't disguise. No, you can't disguise. Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win.
I think the astronauts took to the moon.
Astronauts to the moon.
And all of those symbols are leading up to the dove that represents peace. I believe this harkens back to what the Bible says, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction comes. And lastly, we find all of this symbolism connected back to another example of the occult, or hidden in plain sight. The Denver International Airport murals. They've since covered up the Denver Airport murals, but you can still find pictures of them. These murals are another example of hidden in plain sight, also of lesser magic and predictive programming. So here we find this figure, and he has the eagle on his hat. In some ways he's resembling a Nazi or fascism. He has the same sword from the coin, and we also find the dove here. Of course, in this mural, this figure is killing the dove or destroying peace. Right here on this mural, we can see the effects of the phoenix. Total chaos, total destruction, the death of peace, and then after peace comes Satan or Saturn. Just like money, just like all the symbols we see in movies and TV shows and corporate logos, their plans have been in front of our face all along. Steadily and more quickly now over this last decade, we're seeing all of these pieces come together and fall into place. Everything is moving quickly now towards the end game of this beast system. Total control and total enslavement of humanity. So now that you're seeing all of this right before your eyes, I hope you've made your choice. I don't show you these things to put fear in you. I show you these things so you can make a proper choice, make proper decisions, and understand what time it is, what's happening right now.
This is the moment Japan's nuclear disaster began. A giant tsunami wave crashes into the Fukushima Daiichi power plant.
And we will protect you, that I can tell you, and we will say enough is enough.
Enough is enough, and we will continue to march and continue to fight and demonstrate until we do get justice.
calculations are correct, when this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
You will never see it coming. You think I'm joking?
And fire came down from God out of heaven and devoured them. And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever.